Now, being a girl should not determine what she can do, where she can go, or who she becomes. But this is the reality for millions of girls across the world. This means that too many girls are being left behind, confronted by extreme challenges that deny them their rights and hinder their potentials. In this week's edition of Midweek Connect, we will be looking at the challenges of a girl child and the way forward. I am Udwakobon Achibon. Let's begin with the tidbits. The progress recorded by the civil service of any state is largely determined by the quality and character of the Civil Service Commission, and this has been the testimonials of the state government in the past 8 years. Governor Basike stated this while inaugurating 5 members of Edo State Civil Service Commission.
In constituting this Civil Service Commission, we have been very, very deliberate to strike that balance and begin to make that shift between the traditional thinking about staffing in government and the new thinking where you now manage the staff in government with sound human resource principles.
We are committed to working assiduously and collaboratively in ensuring that this matter, ensuring that the Edo State government workforce is propelled to the optimum.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has pledged to strengthen security measures to prevent violence and maintain order throughout the governorship election in Ondo State. The state resident electoral commissioner Oluwatoyin Babalola was speaking in Akure at the 3-day security training workshop aimed at equipping security personnel with the tools and tactics necessary to address potential threats, curb electoral malpractices, and ensure the safety of polling units across that state.
This training is therefore an opportunity for the Commission to further enhance synergy between INEC and security agencies and ultimately ensure that a tranquil electoral environment is provided.
The training usually is to tell them or explain to them or give them or inculcate knowledge, skills, and competencies in them in respect of their role on election day.
They will serve as train the trainers for others of their colleagues who are not opportune to be here.
Now, all is now set for the 3rd annual Edo State Secondary Schools Football Championship, which will take place from October 28 to November 1, 2024 at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. The tournament will feature 6 teams, 2 each from 3 senatorial districts of the state. This was made known by the chairman of the Edo People's Forum during a press briefing in Benin.
The best way we can impact our youths is to develop them mentally, physically, and that will aid them in academic astuteness. So with that, we continue this process in 2020. And this is our 3rd edition.
This is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin. We now take a break and we return. The discussion begins. Please stay tuned.
Join us every day on NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7, VHF, Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles, YouTube, NTA Benin, Facebook, NTA Benin, Twitter, NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535 59648. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Do you live in Aduawa and environs, or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is a place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art fully air-conditioned ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set, therefore ensuring uninterrupted power supply. We also have NTA Pavilion for all outdoor events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secured. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your events live. And above all, you can air your events on our award-winning program like Events and Style. And any booking on the field or hall gets a bonus of free news coverage. Wow! What are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin.
You from the ancient city of bronze, the cradle of black civilization.
Join us every day on NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7, VHF, Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles, YouTube, NTA Benin, Facebook, NTA Benin, Twitter, NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535 596 48. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Yes, if you are just joining us, this is Midweek Connect on NTA Benin, and of course it's a program that we do discuss topical issues in the society, how it affects every one of us, and what should be done better. And of course in this week's edition we are looking at the challenges of the girl child. And of course we do know that some days ago it was a celebration of the International Day of the Girl Child, and so we deem it fit to also be looking at this is a serious matter in the society, because we know what has always been there and what is trying to come, so that we can wipe away stereotypes and all that concerning the girl child. But I'm not alone in the studio to be discussing this. We have guests here, and of course they are advocate for the girl child, if I should say that. And I have May Iko Gode Ekido. Of course, she is the coordinator, Girls Power Initiative here in the state. Ma, you're welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for your time. And of course, we also have another guest sitting by her side, Ife Koko Ewe. She is the member, Technical Working Group, Edo State Gender Policy Implementation. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. I'm indeed honored.
And of course, we have guests that have things to do with the girl child. So it's going to be a robust discussion this morning. I hope you don't miss it. Now, before we go into that discussion, let's watch a backgrounder.
Despite progress in advancing girls' rights, millions of girls worldwide, especially in Africa, have continued to face significant obstacles. The girl child faces numerous hurdles, from societal norms to cultural practice, unlike the boy child. These challenges include limited access to quality education, healthcare, and economic opportunities, as well as early child marriage and pregnancy, violence and abuse, gender-based discrimination, and lots more. Little wonder the United Nations every year remembers this gender and eagerly finding lasting solutions to her predicament. Many organizations have sprung up and also adding their voices to that of the United Nations in this fight. This week's edition of Midweek Connect will give you the opportunity to phone in and give your suggestions on how to end the gender inequality and better the life of the girl child.
Yes, thank you so much for that. We are talking about the challenges of the girl child, and of course, I did introduce my guest. So, look, we're moving into the discussion. Before we look at these challenges, I would like to start with you, Mrs. Ekido. We are looking at the girl child. First of all, let me begin by asking you, raising the girl child in the Nigerian society, what has been your observation? What have you noticed about now and then? What are your observations about raising the girl child in the Nigerian society?
Raising the girl child in the Nigerian society, then to our parents, I would say they didn't see it as a very difficult task, because we had a senior society, we had uncles, aunties, and you could be free to leave your girl child with them in their custody. But now there's a big difference. It's very, very challenging to raise a girl child in this society, because the society is like it is not sane. You are suspicious of everybody. The girl child is not safe, not as safe as she used to be. Those days when our parents raised us, we had a lot of brothers and sisters around us, and there was nothing like incest or rape issue. But nowadays, you find rape and incest almost on a daily basis. Then we didn't have problem of drugs. If people took drugs, it was just minimal. But nowadays, you have to raise your girl child in the midst of people who are drug addicts. Then people had sane perspective about raising a girl child, and they did it very well. But now, what do we have? We are so busy and we don't really have the time to stay with our girl child. We instead employ the maids to help us take care of our girl child, and when they come into the house, you have to have a CCTV to ensure that your girl child is even safe within the four walls of your own house. So the society, I think there's something wrong right now with the society. So it's more difficult to raise the girl child now. Now you have to drive your child to school, you go back to pick her. But then our parents just, when we were 11, our parents dumped us in the boarding school and didn't bother about us until the holiday. But now you can't think of doing that. You have to go to the school to drop your child, go back to pick your child, because the society is not safe. So it's now more difficult and more expensive raising children in this society than it was in those days.
All right, we'll come to reasons for that. Let's hear your thoughts too, raising a girl child in the Nigerian society today.
Okay, thank you. Raising a girl child in the Nigerian society, there are different views and opinions about people. All right, a lot of female children who grew up in the, will I say, medieval or old days in bringing up the children were faced with different kinds of societal harms. But the truth is that awareness were not actually given to the populace on the havoc that is being impaired on the girl child. A lot of children were faced with series of havoc, like assaults on them, sexual assaults and all that, but they were scared to speak up. But because of the awareness that is being showcased on the society, on the dangers that are being given to, that the dangers that the girl child usually face while growing up, that has also given another face on raising the girl child. The awareness is now being open to people. There's globalization. People are seeing what is being done behind closed doors to the girl child. A lot of them usually do not speak for fear of being even attacked by their parents. But now, a lot of children speak up and tell their parents what they face being raised up with their peers and also their siblings around. Growing up then, a lot of children, they grew up with their family members, their uncles, their maids and all that, but they were actually molested. But their awareness was not actually there. Even to their parents, some of them will just look at it that maybe, what did the child do? What did you do? What did you say? Why did he do that to you? Maybe you dress this way and all that. They were not actually concerned about the rightful act in which a girl child should be treated. But now the awareness is there. So that is it.
Yes, you are talking, yes, ma'am, coming to you, talked about that. It's difficult and expensive to train a girl child. What's the difficulty and expensiveness of raising a girl child?
Yes, nowadays it's difficult to raise a girl child. You know, those days we didn't think about buying pampers because there were no pampers in the market. All we did was to buy your normal, what they call it, there's something that they use, and pieces of cloth that they use. Now you want to raise a girl child, or even a child, not only a girl child, you have to think about the pampers. Those days baby food was not as expensive and people did a lot of breastfeeding. You breastfed your child until the child was about a year and 6 months. So by the time you start baby food, you are not thinking of spending thousands. But now the cheapest baby milk in the market is over 5,000 naira. What is the income of the average Nigerian? That aside, come to talk about school fees. Those days there was nothing like lesson. You go to school in the morning, 8 o'clock, 12:30 you are back home. But now a little child of 2 years old, a toddler, we go to school 8 o'clock and 2:30 is the closing time. What are they doing? They'll tell you it is lesson, and you have to pay for that lesson. You have to pay for 3 sets of uniform. You are restricted to just wearing only white socks. Those days we didn't have socks. We had just shoes. You are managed to wear your shoe and just one uniform, which you are allowed to sew on your own, as far as you follow the material, the color of the material and everything. Then it was khaki. But now what do you have? You have the school will be the one to sew the 3 uniforms for you, and you pay exorbitant fee. A child of 2 years is paying over 150,000 naira in not even the high class school. So in terms of economic situation, things are tougher. And now we also have the influence of the social media. When we were growing up, we didn't have access to telephones and all that, so we didn't know what was happening with our peers and every other thing. But now that you have social media influence, you have children struggling your handset, your phone with you. What do they want to watch? TikTok at age 3, age 4. You say the mother is not trying, not coping, not bringing up the child very well. It's not true. It is just the environment and the society, the way it has been programmed. When these children get to school, what do? Is it not telly they watch? But we pay for all that. So it is more expensive now than it was in those days.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You said she has talked about the way the society has been programmed, and then you did mention that a lot of things have changed about raising a girl child. There's awareness and consciousness, and efforts are being put in place to ensure that the girl child is taken care of and all that. But people still believe that there are challenges in the society. Like you said, the way the society is structured and all that. Do you believe that there are challenges to the advancement of the girl child? What are these challenges?
Yes, there are a lot of challenges that the girl child faces while growing up. Some of them are these harmful cultural practices. Some of them are exposure or awareness to the fact that the child has the right, the Child Right Act. They don't even know where their rights stop and where it ends. Okay? Some of the challenges are also on the fact that some of their parents are not exposed enough to know some things that would be beneficial to the right of a child. In some cultural practices, there is something called objectization. They see the girl child as an object. they do not see the reason why they should train her in schools. They feel it's only that because she's going to get married after a while and she will belong to another family. They do not see the reasons why they would empower her in all areas of her life to make her have a sustainable developmental goals, right? And also for some cultural practices, they see the girl child as a tool to be used for forced labor, for child production, and also for other things that will be beneficial to the family and not things that will make her being impactful on herself. There are some cultures in which they would rather train the male child than the girl child, because they feel that some people will say there's something they call there's a connotation they use on the girl child and the male child. If someone gives birth, like in some states, they will say it's half current. What is half current? That the girl child is half current. But if you give birth to a male child, they will say it's a full current child. What does that mean? It means the girl child is already stereotyped within the family.
Yes, if I'm not caught you, I even heard someone said she's the only child of the parent, and that when she growing up in the family, she will hear people say, how I wish she was a male child so that she can keep the family name and all that. So still staying with you. Why do we have the stereotype of because you see you are trying to point that it begins even from the family.
Yes.
There's that segregation. She's a male female child. Well, you should look for a way and have a male child, as if the female child cannot contribute a quota. Why do you see happen?
I think they are oblivious of the fact that children are gifts from God. You don't have the power to procreate. If you're having a male child or a girl child or a female child, it's the X and Y chromosomes that meet, and anyone that wants to come out is what will come out, and that's what God gives to you. If you want to stereotype that child, it means that you are already trying to prevent her from achieving her goals. A female child can also achieve whatever she wants to achieve, just like the male children. If you are objectizing that female child, then that becomes a problem for the society, because if you train a girl child, you've trained the nation. If you empower a girl child, you have empowered the nation, because we are the ones who actually bring forth those children to the world. When a child grows up and gets to reproductive age and finally goes through her school or business and gets married and starts procreating, she is used to bring forth children. And I feel that much respect and protection should be given to the female children and also to the male children. We should not be biased in raising them up. But the family in some families have already put in that stereotype by themselves because of their harmful cultural practices, because they have tied themselves to their traditional linkages, all right? And that is what they are carrying forth in raising their children.
Yes, now coming to you, we are talking about challenges too. She has mentioned some of these challenges. What are the challenges that faces a girl child in a bid to accept herself and be something in the society?
Yeah, culture is one of them. Culture is a major challenge. Let me tell you a very short story, real life story. There's my sister, my elder sister. She has a security guard who is from one part of the country, and the guard has a lot of children. And when these children came to him and living in the apartment, the security quarter, my sister said these children must go to school. And she picked on two of the girls, one age 18 and the other one was age 15, and gave them scholarship to go to school. The parents objected and said it is against their culture for the female child to go to school. But my sister ensured and said if you want to keep this job, they must go to school. With scholarship, after 2 years, the man sent the children home, and now they are married. One is married to a man that already has 3 wives at 16. The other one is married and is just doing vegetable gardening in their community. So that's culture. Culture that allows for child marriages. That's number one. Then number two, the culture of silence that makes people not to air their opinion. They have dreams. they cannot attain the fulfillment of that dream because of the culture that is around them. They have to keep quiet. I remember those days, decision making is for men alone, but women are not allowed to make decision concerning themselves and concerning their children. They are not allowed. So all that is part of the challenges. Another one is health. Apart from not being able to access good education, girls are not also able to access health services. Formerly, we used to have hospitals for children. Now, within the government setting, even though you still have hospital for children, you still have a department for children clinic and others. The money you pay there will prevent the parent from taking the child to such place. Rather, they go and patronize chemist. In saner society, where the welfare of the children are put into cognizance, provision is made to subsidize the drugs, the registration, and everything that has to do with a child. Those days, once you are below the 6 years, you are allowed to be put on your parents' lap in transportation when you are accessing public transport. But what do we have now? You want to take a flight and you have a 2 years and 3 months old baby. You have to pay for that child to travel with you. Poverty too is also a challenge. Our girls have the dream of going to school, of acquiring good education, but what do they have? Because their parents cannot afford it, they have to hawk. They have to go into child labor. These are very, very painful things that is making our children not to attain their full potential the way they are supposed to attain. The economic and socio-economic factor in the country is not encouraging the girl child at all. Parents have up to 5 or 6 children, and then they use a female as a sacrifice to go abroad for prostitution, to survive, to make the other members of the family survive. Human trafficking. Outside human trafficking now, what do we now have? We have children producing babies, baby factory for sale. All these are challenges. And at the end, because of some preference, people still prefer male children to female children, irrespective of what is there up there in the female child, because they feel that a female will get married and go and bear the husband's name. So they don't want to put anything in place to ensure that the girl acquires her full potential. They just see her as a gift to be given out. Many of them will say, okay, I have female children. They will now start counting the dowry that will come to them. So even dowry, payment of dowry, to me, is a negative cultural practice.
It shouldn't be allowed again. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, if they pay dowry, you pay dowry, return the dowry to the husband and say, use it to take care of my daughter. Just take a little token. But for a man to go and pay as much as 1 million naira dowry,
and they'll feel that they bought
the child. So payment of dowry is also one of the problems that we are having. Then structures in schools. How many public schools have toilets? When a girl is in her period, she cannot even afford sanitary towel. You see them using toilet roll or whatever, going to the old method of using piece of cloth. No toilet for them. So all these are problems.
Yes, we're still talking about problems. So you see a situation that in the society today, maybe a girl child is being abused, raped and all that, and then you begin to see them keep it back to themselves. They don't want to speak out. No matter what is being said, they still have. What do you think are the fears of a girl child in trying to come up to the society and speak about the challenges she has?
Okay. The fears that she faces is just because of stigmatization. The girl child is being stigmatized because of what has happened to her. Growing up, I can remember vividly that when there was a certain lady a child that got pregnant. Although she was my senior in school, she got pregnant and all that. And then a lot of people keep talking, why did she do that? Why did she do that? But they didn't go deep to find out what actually made her go into such acts. If she was forced, if she gave consent, or if it was a family thing. You know, some families they would want a child to give birth early. I could hear there was a young child. A young child told me recently that she wants to get married early. I was like, why will you say that? Say at 18 she wants to get married. I said, don't you have dreams? Don't you have ambition? Why do you think you should get married at the age of 18? She said a teacher told her that she should get married. A science teacher told her that when a child gets to 25, giving birth will be difficult. Wow. So I said that idea should be washed from your mentality. That is wrong. You shouldn't be thinking about procreation at your age. You should be thinking about how to make a living for yourself and be impactful on the society. Okay? So some children or girl children that are being faced with such hazards or impediments in life, they are scared to actually speak up because of the societal norms. Even some of them, their parents are even scared to tell their neighbors that the child is pregnant. They will go and take it out because they want to protect the family name. Some mothers, they prefer protecting their family name than protecting the life of the child. So those are some of the things that girls faces. Sometimes they will even need to carry the child to another state and make her give birth, and maybe probably sell the child. Those were the things that usually happen those days, and even now in the old times and even in the contemporary times, this still prevails in the rural and urban settings. Some girls, they got pregnant, right, and their parents never knew that they got pregnant. I know of someone that got pregnant. The family came to collect the child from her. The mother did not know until 9 months, because some women, they are ladies rather, there's a way their body is. You will never know that they are pregnant. I hear they say the womb is pushed inside. Some of them, they are very slim. They will wear big clothes. Some wear sweaters to school to protect themselves. Even maybe sometimes it's their teachers that we even find out. Maybe they saw them vomiting, throwing up beside the school there, and then they'll call on them. Sometimes they will just do a routine check on them, which is actually wrong. They should be consensual to check a child to know if she is pregnant or not. You should ask for the parents. Sometimes in some public schools, they do that to check on them. And while they are also facing such harassment, they are afraid to speak up. They are being scared to speak up. That is one of the challenges. Female children are scared. They are not being aware to know that they are right, that they have rights as a girl child to say no to sexual assaults and violence.
All right, now let's come to you. Yeah, you're still looking at why do they have this fear, the girl child, to speak up? Because it's somebody who even raised it that probably the society has not really helped matters. A lot of these girls, like maybe a teenage pregnancy and all that, who they did report to, at the end of the day, are there social services provided, like where they are being kept, where they can be kept, where they can be cared for, to ensure that they are safe and protected from the society? Then I ask you, what are those fears? People have raised so many things. On your own part, what are these fears that these girls have that will not make them to voice out? They are being raped, they keep it to themselves. Maybe later in life, you hear them come up to say it. Something like this happened. I don't know what would have given them the courage to come up, maybe later in their age and all that, to begin to talk. So what?
Yes, it is a victimization of the victims. You victimize the victim further, outside stigmatizing the victim. When the child is raped, that child should not be stigmatized or victimized. But what do we have? We will have a case of like it happened in the Bible, the woman that committed adultery, everybody wanted to stone, and nobody talked about the man that committed the adultery with. What happens to the boys that raped the girls? What happened to the men that raped them? When a child goes to the police station to report, in short, the police station is not even the first place to report.
There should be
a case center. We have center in Edo State, the SGBV center, SAC center. That's the first place. But not everybody has awareness about that. Not everyone has information on that. So they still go to the police station. when the child is raped, before you can establish a rape, you have to have tests done. But when this thing happen and they get to a police station, time is going. Before the case gets back to SAC center, you see that so many a lot of damage has gone, information cannot be gathered. The rapists, they are not being challenged, they are not being put in jail, their organs are not being cut off. That is further increasing people still raping others. I'm glad about the VAP law. I think that will reduce it to some extent. But the VAP law has to be simplified for everybody to know the contents of the VAP law. To know that using your finger also is rape. So the idea of saying I didn't use my organ, I used my finger should not be there.
Yes, just to let us, before we continue, just to let our viewers know that this is a phone-in program. You can call the number 0703-695-7086 to share your opinion on today's discussion. Yes, the number still remains 0703-695-7086. Thank you so much. Please continue from.
Okay, yes. So stigmatization, we always blame the victim. And in cases where the victims are not being blamed and the parents take up the courage to report the case and you start following up, the family of the boy that perpetrated the act or the man, you see them coming out to threaten the family of the girl, especially if they are from poor background. They want to threaten by all means and ensure that the case is quashed. Because of our judicial system, there is a case of 3-year-old girl that was raped over 6 years ago.
We've had cases even presently. You hear series of stories.
A girl that was
having
raped
to do with girl child.
Yes. A girl that was raped at 3, now over 6 years old, she cannot get justice. Today the magistrate is posted to another magistrate is coming in. The parents get tired because the money they use in going to court day in day out is something, and then the child is being stigmatized. Everybody will be looking at her and say, they raped her. Nobody will want to marry such a child in the future. Because of all this stigma, parents don't want to say. Children don't want to say. Children, for fear, it's actually the fear that is making the girl child not want to say. They'll say, I'll kill you, I'll kill your parents. They threaten them. And because they love their parents, they love their family, they want to keep quiet. But when they are older and they get the right information, they want to come out
and say what had happened many
years ago because of the boldness of the new information they now have. So the stigma and training, people are not really trained to handle these cases. Where people are trained to handle the cases and the judiciary is the law is put in place to ensure that the rapist is jailed for life or his organ is cut off, you see that it will be minimal.
Yes, this still takes us we are looking at the challenges. Now we are trying to look at what should be done better in trying to, for the girl child to achieve her potential. How should she be encouraged, empowered to do that?
All right. Looking at the International Day of the Girl Child, that day was formed by the United Nations in 2012 to help the girl child get empowerment in all facets of our endeavor, because they saw that the girl child were faced with series of challenges growing up, and this brought about this hindered her in achieving her dreams. So right now we all know that even in Edo State there was a technical working team, and there is still a technical working team on the implementation of the gender policy, which protects the rights of all genders, including male and female. And also there are also rules about inclusiveness about the girl child in all facets of our endeavor. Aside the social media empowerment, I feel the female children should also be empowered mentally and also physically to help her to be able to grow up a resilience in her. There's the UNESCO, right? They brought about the martial arts, which is in karate in particular, to help in the development of the female children and also the male children, to help them to build up their cognitive skills, their communication skills, and all other skills that will help about sustainable development. So UNESCO also brought about the rule that karate should be implemented or given to children and even the female from 0 to 22 years of age, because it helps about all-round development. There are different committees and groups that are advocating for the empowerment of the girl child. All what the female children needs is empowerment, mental, physical, social, and otherwise. There should be a synergy between NGOs and also the government to empower the girl child.
Okay, you belong to an NGO, if I should say. In what ways have your organization, where you belong, been empowering these women, the girl child, to ensure that she attends?
All right. Okay. Empowering the girl child. Some time ago, there were health and talk organizations. They came to speak to female and tell them about the right to say no. The right to say no when they are being harassed sexually, and how to be able to speak up when they are even faced with some kind of harassment, sexually, physically, and all that. We have been working seriously to empower them, to go to schools and synthesize them, advocate them, put up jingles. We even help the National Orientation Agency to do some other things that they need to do in empowering the girl child. All what the girl child needs is for her to know her rights as a girl child. So with all these activities, we have been working, putting hands on deck to empower them. There are even females that are being taught the art of martial arts, because I am an African referee. Yes, I'm an African referee for Edo State.
Okay.
Yes, we empower girl children to be able to build up their self-defense skills, which are reflexes. If a man is coming and is trying to touch you, there's a way you do a Gendambarai movement. You block off the hands. You can kick, you can punch, you can speak up. It's not all about talking. What do you do when a man holds you like this? What can you do? You push him backward and step on his feet. Those are empowerments we teach the female children. Sometimes you can even be with your lecturer and he locks you up. What do? There's a way you hold him and shout for help. Kick him.
Seriously?
Yeah. It's all about self-defense, and empowering a female child to build up her self-defense would also go a long way to helping her. Some of them may be physically fit, but may not have the knowledge or the enthusiasm to actually say no. They can't say no because they are scared. But what martial arts, karate in particular, does is teaches you how to voice out, to speak, to be able to defend yourself all round, because it helps in your development for your wellness and physical strength.
All right, let me come to you, Ma. Let me say it in this direction. Yes, we are talking about a lot of things has to be done, talking to the girl child, going to school, educating them and all that. But I see a situation that it seems the girl child herself is an hindrance to her growth. You see a situation, a girl is growing. Please let's find out if there's a caller. Hello.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
I've been listening to your program.
Please, first of all, we'd like to know your name and where you are calling from. Please lower the volume on your set, whatever you're using. Lower the volume. We are having an echo so that we can hear you well. Please still lower the volume on your set, please. Thank you. Okay, let's hear you. Let's hear you, please. Oh, welcome to the program.
The person should report to first. They should tell us the location or give us the phone number of the place. All these things are not publicized. How do we know?
That's the question. The caller is saying, how do we know? Where will a girl child go to report in this? Those, I did say you were talking about you have a center that people should go to, not really the police station. So the caller here wants to
vegetable market. It's sack center. sexual assault referral center is inside vegetable market.
And do you have a number they can reach out to?
Yeah, I don't have the number here.
Okay, but that's the location.
Yes, they used to call it Vivian Center, but now it's Sac Center. Once you get to vegetable market, beside yes, there's a plaza behind vegetable market, close to Edi Hospital. That's the place.
Okay, that's the place you can reach out to whenever there's a case to report about probably molestation, with girl child abuse and all that. Yes, thank you, caller, for raising that awareness on where to go to. Yes, I was saying something before the caller called into the program. We see a situation that a girl child, probably because of one thing or the other, wants to get money to take care of herself, and they fall into the wrong hands. And then you see a situation of a girl, like someone said, cyberbullying. A girl, you are chatting, girls now chat online and all that. And somebody tells you, send your nude picture to me, I want to know you better and all that. And you see a girl child doing that, like what we heard. And before you knew it, at the end of the day, when that picture came online everywhere, people, and her face was shown and all that, she had to commit suicide because she couldn't stand that embarrassment and all that. And you begin to wonder, what is really wrong? Is it that we don't have enough sensitization for the girl child to understand who she is, her body makeup, her right, everything about her, that she should not sell out herself, sell out her future because of a token or because of whatever she sees at the present? What should we do in this direction to help the girl child?
Yes, coincidentally, the vision of Girl Spy Initiative is a Nigeria where the girl child attains her full potential. For the past 30 years, we'll be empowering them with information and accurate skills from a gender perspective to ensure that they fulfill their dreams. There are different empowerments, but personal empowerment skills is what the girl child needs in this era. First and foremost, you locate a place where the girl child can have it. And we know that because our center is not everybody cannot come there at the same time. So we ensure that in the curriculum in 2006, we put some modules inside the secondary school curriculum for junior, government curriculum for junior secondary schools. It was inside some career subjects, these skills. But because the Nigerian society, the Edo State society, did not want to hear about sexuality education, it was now tagged family life and HIV/AIDS education. In that curriculum, we have topics like self-esteem. The girl child have to have self-esteem for her to be able to stand on her own. There is assertiveness. You teach her to be assertive, how she can say no and stand on her own without offending others. Assertive behavior. We have decision-making skills, vision and goal setting, how to say no to all the practices that are against her in the society. So these are education that the girl child needs to attain. When the girl child gets this education, apart from the other education of English, math, social studies, personal empowerment skills is needed by the girl child to be able to overcome some of her challenges.
Yes, thank you. I think we have a caller. Hello?
I'm calling back the last caller.
Okay, they had just called us, yes.
You know that rape is a criminal offense.
Yes.
After reporting to that center, it is supposed to be the responsibility of government to take that matter up. Because most of the children are from the poor background. Nobody would like to go and rape a rich man's daughter because the man will prosecute you to the end. So after reporting this case to that center, the government should take it up to remove the financial burden from the poor people.
Okay.
So they should, government should help. Without that, people will be discouraged. They will be happy to that to process the issue.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kola. Yes, he has raised a point. He says it's not about going to the center and saying this is what has happened to me. A lot of times, who takes it up
The
from
government
there?
takes it up.
Have we had cases in this state that government has taken it up, and how did it end? Because it's not about taking up a matter. At the end of the day, what's the end result of it? That another person hearing it be encouraged that if this is the way it was treated for Miss A, that means Miss B will equally have the same treatment.
Yes.
What can you say about it?
The government takes it up because when people come to us in my organization that they have rape cases, we take them to SAC center and we follow it up. In SAC center you have the police, SAC center you have lawyers, SAC center you have counselors, you have all the first line respondents.
Now let's
in
be
the SAC
practical
center.
here.
Yes.
You're talking about your center. Can you give us an incident that happened and how did it end? What particular case was reported to that center you're talking about, and how was it handled at the end of the day that justice was served?
There are so many cases.
If you can pick point one.
Yes.
Because man is talking about, it's not about telling it, how do we follow it up and ensure that, because a lot of them may not come from a wealthy background that can sponsor it at all.
Yes, you know the identity of these girls have to be shielded. But right now, there is a case that happened not quite 3 weeks ago, and the 67-year-old man is in jail. The lawyer, the way it was taken up, it didn't prolong for up to a month.
Okay.
The man is in jail. He fiddled with a girl that is about 5 years old, using his finger, and he's in jail. It was reported to SAC center. I don't work in SAC center, but we refer cases. I work in Girls Power Initiative. We have counselors. Our number is out there. When people have cases and they don't know where to go to, why battery, men abandoning their wives and they don't want to pay fees and others, we take up the case, help them, refer them to SAC center and follow up the case.
By way of wrapping up with you, because we are short of time to before I go to guests to wrap it up too, we want you to equally let the people know how they can reach out to you. You deal with the girl child too.
Yes.
Maybe probably your number and how they can access services that you provide.
Yes, our number is 080-5857-3096. Girls Power Initiative is located along New Road off Ekenwa Road, Upper Ekenwa Road, Ugbioko Quarters, Benin City. You can reach us with that number.
Thank you so much. Yes, by way of wrapping up, coming to you, Mrs. Freko, we are looking at the way forward in all these challenges. What will be your parting words, the way forward for the girl child to achieve her potential?
Okay, the girl child, all what they need is empowerment, sensitization, series of advocacy in various facets that would help them to know their rights as a girl child, and also to be able to make them know that they have a lot to impact on themselves and the society, and not see themselves as an object or a tool to be used for cash exchange. They have a lot of potentials, and so they should be empowered. All they need is empowerment in all areas of their life. This cannot be done just within the family. It can be done within NGOs, the government, series of advocacy, even National Orientation Agency, advocating the rights of a girl child, having international conferences in which they can attend, having some activities or some curriculum added to their curriculum that will help them on their empowerment, and also having a set down rules or principles, guiding rules and principles in which they will use in as a landmark for their own wellness in their endeavors. A girl should have a principle. She should have a landmark or an achievement that she wants to attain within a particular time of her life. She shouldn't just live her life just like that, or living her life for the people or the society. She should live her life for herself and also for the society, in the sense that she should know that she has a lot to impact within the space she lives within.
Thank you so much for
Right.
being part of the program. Have been speaking with May Ihode Ekido, coordinator, Ikuhode, yes, Ekido, coordinator, Girls Power Initiative, Edo State. Thank you for coming to share your thoughts with us. And also had in the studio too, Ifwe Cole. Coco Ewe, she is a member, technical working group, Edo State Gender Policy Implementation. Thank you so much for coming to the studio. Yes, viewers, a lot has been said about the challenges of the girl child. It's a collaborative effort. While a lot is expected from the government, the girl child too should see herself as a symbol of unity, as a symbol of growth and empowerment, that she should not allow herself to be brought low. She should accept herself. And if you see anything happening around the society affecting the girl child, or even you as a girl child, you have a place to report to in Benin here. It is behind Hotel Benin Plaza after Edo Hospital, through Reservation Road, or through the vegetable market. For those of us that are here in Benin, you can still tell it to people outside Benin. And at the end of the day, don't just assume that there's nothing government can do. Try and see, and you'll be surprised at what you can get. You can get justice for that girl child that has been abused or discriminated. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us, and we look forward to having you next week for another edition of Midweek Connect. Until then, do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.